Suppose you were a member of a Lutheran family from Czechoslovakia. You have fled from your home behind the Iron Curtain. You want to find a new home in the new world. You had hoped to go to the United States, but for the time being, the doors were closed. Although shipments of food and clothing still come in great quantities through Lutheran World Relief, opportunities for resettlement were meager. You had seized on an offer of the World Council of Churches to help you in making arrangements to emigrate. The refugee services of Lutheran World Federation and World Council of Churches work closely together. But South America is your destination. Now you can work and build for your new home. But what chance is there that you will find fellowship in a Lutheran church in Latin America? Isn't it a solidly Roman Catholic continent? It is predominantly Catholic, and there have been immigrants before you who have decided to baptize their children Catholic. Others have remained outside all contact with the Christian church or are still trying to reach North America. This won't help to build a strong and free Latin America. The whistle of your steamship Castel Felice interrupts your musings about the future and brings you back to the present. You are approaching the harbor of Rio de Janeiro. How beautiful it is. How modern those apartment houses along the parkway. It is Latin America, though, and there is the overlooking hill with a statue on top, the famous statue of Christ, with his arms outstretched to all mankind. You are eager to go ashore, but there are all kinds of formalities. Two girls from your group who have just had their fingerprints taken by the Brazilian authorities. There are nearly 100 Lutherans in the group of 120 refugees bound for the new governmental farms just outside Rio. There is a pile of luggage belonging to your group. The initials stand for the Intergovernmental Committee for European Migration, which paid your passage. Here is another Lutheran family with Miss Bertha Hoermuth there on the right. It's been good to have this representative of the World Council of Churches on the ocean voyage. Dr. Frings on the dock to meet your ship. He is from the Intergovernmental Committee for European Migration. As you join the others going down the gangplank, your heart is lighter as you enter your newly adopted land. Surely the future will be bright. The church, the Lutheran Church, is here to meet you. Joining Dr. Frings is Mr. Moraviev, who represents the World Council of Churches Service for Refugees in South America. Now others have joined Frings and Moraviev. They are officials of the Lutheran World Federation Service for Refugees. There on the right is Dr. Stuart Herman. He is the executive secretary of all the work in Latin America done by Lutheran World Federation and the National Lutheran Council. He must have flown down from his New York office. You are astonished to learn that Brazil has the largest Lutheran body in Latin America. Over 400,000 members, largely of German origin, dating back to the early 1800s. Indeed, the Synod of Brazil even has its own seminary at São Leopoldo, near Porto Alegre, in the southern part of the country. This is Dr. Herman Domes, president of the Brazilian Lutheran Church. To the left of President Domes is President Schlitzen. On his right is Pastor Schlieper. Both are leaders of the church. President Domes wants you to meet the 25 seminary students. They pursue their studies in Portuguese and German to prepare for the ministry in the Brazilian Lutheran Church. On the same campus is a preparatory school for theology candidates and a high school for both young men and women. In total, there are more than 200 Lutheran students enrolled in these various schools at Sao Leopoldo. If you speak neither German nor Portuguese, you are glad to learn the Lutheran leaders in Latin America have planned for many languages. In Colombia, to the northwest of Brazil, for example, there is a new Lutheran congregation of 16 different nationalities. Pastor Kostlund is valuable in South America because he speaks 4 languages. He is loaned to the Lutheran World Federation work in Colombia by the Church of Sweden. Mrs. Kostlund helps with her musical talent. The 3 Kostlund children also are happy in their new land. The Jeep belongs to the mission of the Evangelical Lutheran Church. An American, Pastor Ostrom, had come in the Jeep to consult with Pastor Kostlund about a matter of common interest to their respective church groups. In Colombia, there was Lutheran mission work to the Spanish-speaking people before the Lutheran World Federation began its work among the European immigrants. The European Lutherans in Cali meet in a school belonging to a Presbyterian mission. Find temporary quarters, but the problem of securing their own buildings must be met. It is a courageous act to stand up to be counted as a Lutheran, as a Protestant. Because of the possibility of persecution, many refuse to allow their names to appear on a parish list, hesitate to attend services, or give their contributions anonymously. Yet this group of 200 members has become self-supporting. High on the Andes, there is another small parish. We now have 5 congregations in Colombia. Some in these combination Scandinavian and German-speaking groups are members of consulates. Here are the Lindahls of Sweden. Pastors Mueller and Kostlund have done remarkable work in pioneering. As new congregations are organized and grow, there is a need for more multilingual pastors, and churches must be built. Easter Sunday, 1953. Cornerstone laying for the first Lutheran church in Peru. Lutheran church history is in the making. That vacant lot in Lima, Peru, is the future site. This is the way the architects visualize it. The church on the right, parish house and parsonage on the left. Officiating at the cornerstone ceremonies is Mr. Paulson, chairman of the church council. Next to Mr. Paulson are Dr. Money, president of the Evangelical Confederation of Peru, and Willie Bosner, pastor of the Lutherans in all of Peru. These signers pledge themselves to complete the task here begun, to build a church to the glory of God. Placed inside a metal cylinder, this document will remain as a witness of the faith of these pioneer Lutherans in Peru. The cylinder is sealed in concrete. So here in a new world, there is a growing fellowship of Lutherans who came from most of the 26 nations represented in the Lutheran World Federation. Not only have they found a new home, but they are founding a new church. The natives of Latin America are a reminder that many of your new neighbors live, think, and worship differently. In the cities, there are large Roman Catholic cathedrals. In some villages, the priest sometimes visits the church only once a year to conduct Mass. There is only one priest for 10,000 persons, as compared to the United States, where one priest serves 662 persons. The Lutheran Church in America is concerned about the spiritual welfare of our Latin American neighbors, as well as the immigrants who come from Europe. The various synods have had their own missions, but now they operate cooperatively through the National Lutheran Council. The beginning was at Montevideo, Uruguay. A small house in an underprivileged district was chosen by Pastor Paul Benson as a place to live and work. Sunday school instruction for the children has begun. Pastor Benson is in charge of this group. Another Sunday school class is taught by Mrs. Benson. Pastor Benson works entirely in Spanish with a group of European and Uruguayan Lutherans. These members were the first of the Montevideo congregation, and daily there are new names being written on the membership lists. The lists are growing. Temporary buildings will become permanent Lutheran churches, for these are strong and courageous pioneers of faith in Latin America. Wherever Lutherans gather, they discover their common bond of faith, and they make their common witness. We all belong together